those kind words, Brian and David. It's a real thrill for AmCham and I to be in Indonesia. It's a real thrill for us to be in Jakarta. It's a real thrill for us to be here tonight for this very, very warm welcome. I would like to start by acknowledging all the distinguished people here, both representing the Indonesian government, Indonesia's parliament, business, media. To be honest, it's a very humbling feeling to be looking out and realizing how much experience you have in Indonesia on Indonesia-U.S. relations and the many contributions that you've made. I really hope that both AmCham and I will have the opportunity to spend a lot of quality time, and by that I don't mean on a receiving line, with all of you in the years ahead. We're here tonight, of course, because we all care about U.S.-Indonesian relations. And the Chamber and USINDO have made so many contributions, it's almost hard for me to begin. I've been very fortunate in my career to be working with the AmChams in the region. And I've already started to establish a relationship with you that I want to make even deeper, Brian. I really appreciate, as I go through my meetings, being able to say to Indonesian government officials that I have met with you and we've discussed various parts of your operations, your successes, your hopes, your aspirations here, and so please come and share your stories with me. For USINDO, I've done a little bit of research, and if you look on the USINDO site, you see that USINDO is responsible for establishing exchanges between the United States and Indonesia for cultural work, for economic work, building trust between our two societies. I thought that was my job. Now I found out that it's already been done. So maybe now I can just sit back and have a really great time. And all of the co-chairs on the Indonesia side, my mentor, my self-appointed mentor, is the co-chair, State Roy, on the co-chair on the United States side. Probably my favorite Secretary of State is George Shultz, and so I can't think of a better place to be than here tonight sharing some thoughts with you and USINDO. I'm at the stage of my ambassadorialship, if you will, where I'm now meeting with senior Indonesian officials. And what I thought I would do is just try and share with you a little bit of the messages that I'm trying to convey to them. The first message is that the United States wants to remain a very good partner, a strategic partner with Indonesia, that we believe that this is in our interest to do, that Indonesia plays such a critical role as a leader in ASEAN, as a member of the G20, as the largest economy in the region, that we expect that we will be able to deepen our partnership and to move forward in many different areas, ranging from trade and investment, to cultural exchanges, to work on the environment, to security, maritime assistance, just to begin to say some of the areas where we're interested. I was fortunate enough to have a very short conversation with President Jokowi, and I mentioned trade and investment as a big area that we are interested in moving forward in on many different parts of it, but particularly including the aviation sector, as well as power generation, which I know are primary concerns of his. I also mentioned the great interest in expanding our investment relationship here and the important message that Indonesia sends by treating the investors that are here already, how important that is for prospective new investors, no matter what field that they might be interested in coming in. But I've also talked about common values, and I've spoken a lot about tolerance and respect for diversity and respect for religious freedom, which are topics that have been very much in the news in the past several weeks. Of course, I've been talking about the President's executive order and stressing that that is about making the United States borders safer and more secure. I've noted that Indonesian citizens are not affected by the executive order. I've also noted that there are over 40 Muslim majority nations in the world that also are not included in that order. Today, reacting to events over the weekend, I've said that this is a very good example of the American governmental system and our democracy at work as the checks and balances play in, and that it's not unusual for our courts to become involved in major decisions and to play out. But I've also said, and I believe this very fervently, that I'm very, very confident that the American people are a very tolerant people, that we respect religious freedom, as does Indonesia. And as in Indonesia, from time to time, these values may be questioned. But I'm very, very confident that when things work out, our concentration on these very important values will be borne out and will be reaffirmed, and will show the very importance of acting on them. I'm also very convinced that we can find a way to deepen this relationship that we have. There are so many areas that we cooperate on that are important to Indonesia and they're important to the United States. Within Indonesia, our USAID, our Millennium Challenge account, our law enforcement officers, we try and cooperate in areas that the Indonesian government has identified as major priorities for Indonesia. And this is part of our attempt to be a very good partner here and to work forward. And I think we can continue to do that. Finally, it's also important to work with civil society. And I'm just beginning to know some of you through USINDO and through the AmCham, but in other areas as well. One that I would like to highlight is USINDO's effort on the Commission on Religious Tolerance. I can't stress how important I believe that is today, not only for Indonesia, not only for the United States, but for all of us as global citizens as well. So I look forward to working with all of you. I look forward to getting to know all of you, as does AmCham. So I think you probably had enough, and you would probably much rather have a drink and get something to eat right now. Thank you all so much for coming. It's a great honor.